Okay folks, so here we are. I'm just going to give you an idea of how well the Silverado EV can hold things. Here is the front trunk. This is actually the GM Charger, so discard that. That we could either leave or put somewhere else in the vehicle. But the rest of it is my stuff. And then of course this, I guess she's got bags in there. But you can see what we can fit. We could possibly fit another small bag in there and maybe something on the top there. But that's gonna do it for that. Look at the back seat of the truck here. I've got the seats up. So both seats are up. It's a 60-40 or maybe more than that, maybe a 70-30. Where it folds up, you can see where it divides. So you could have one seat down and seat one, or you could have this bench down and seat two, and then have some storage over there on the other side. But I can fit a good amount back here. Hello everyone, welcome back to Electrified Outdoors. Today we're going to be taking a road trip from Maryland to Boston, Massachusetts in the Chevrolet Silverado EV work truck. This truck has a 450-mile range, and this trip is going to give us a really good idea of how it performs, and we're going to charge on the Tesla Supercharger network, which is not set up for 800-volt charging. So we're going to see what the experience is like without that really high-speed charging, kind of a worst-case scenario. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Ken, and I make videos about electric vehicles. And I try to have a little fun and create a relaxing atmosphere for my viewers as well. If you like what you see, go ahead and click on subscribe. And then when you click on subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. And if you hit that like button, it'll help others find our content just a little bit easier on YouTube. I wouldn't put anything back here under this soft tonneau that could possibly get wet. I don't think it keeps water out very well. If you need to regularly carry things in the back of the Silverado EV, I would highly recommend a hard tonneau cover that has a rubber seal around it that can be more weather tight. As we jump into the Silverado EV here, I did charge it to 100%. So you can see in our display that at 100% state of charge, it predicts we have 465 miles of range, which is absolutely amazing. And this says it's 55 outside. It's probably a little cooler than that. It was parked in the garage overnight. But yeah, so 465 miles of range. I'm obviously not going to drive it that long. I think ABRP said I would have to drive nearly 5 hours before I would need to recharge. That's not going to happen, folks. So what I'm going to do is stop off in Allentown at a Tesla Supercharger there, and I'm going to stop one more time in Connecticut just to break up the trip because I'm going to need to get out and stretch my legs and things. But come along with me, and we're going to see how this Silverado EV performs on a pretty long road trip, and it's not going to be really warm. So it's going to be getting cooler the further north we go. Okay, everyone. So we're on the road, but our first stop is going to be in Allentown, PA at a Tesla Supercharger. We don't have to stop there, but it's a good stopping point. It's 152 miles from
right on Harrisburg
where we're starting. And it'll be a good opportunity for me to get out, stretch my legs, and opportunity charge. All right, folks, so just a quick check-in. I have gone 16 miles, mostly rural back roads here. And my current average is 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. But I'll frequently check in with you guys and let you know how I'm doing along the trip. But boy, there are really some beautiful sights out here in Thurmont, Maryland. Just absolutely beautiful. Okay, everyone, my rear camera is malfunctioning, but we're getting off here. We're about less than 3 minutes away from the Tesla Supercharger in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And so far, I've traveled 151 miles in 2 hours and 39 minutes. And my average is exactly 2 miles per kilowatt hour. So I'm going to catch up with you when I get to the charger. And hopefully we don't have any issues getting the Silverado EV to charge. I did test it at a Tesla Supercharger in Frederick before we left to make sure that it works, and it does. So I'll catch up with you guys at the charger. Okay, everyone, so we made it here. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you on camera activating the Tesla charger because it's just me. My wife and daughter are actually flying up because my daughter's on a team sport and they have a chaperone trip this year. So my wife has to travel with her and they have to travel separately. Long story, but that's the gist of it. So I'm here by myself and I only have this selfie camera. So I had to activate the charger, but I'm getting some good speed. I'm getting 107 kilowatt. I was hoping to get better than that, but I'm at about 67% state of charge. I really didn't need to stop here. I'm only stopping to use the restroom and stretch my legs, and the charging is more an opportunity charge than anything else. But I'm gonna charge hopefully to 80% unless it's really, really slow, then I'll just pack it up and move on. But so far the efficiency seems to be doing pretty good, holding at exactly 2 miles per kilowatt hour. So I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Okay, everyone, so it's kind of raining pretty good. Efficiency's dropped down to 1.9.
It's the left
and I've gone 1 mile since leaving the Allentown Supercharger. And it says that I've got about 4 hours worth of driving. I don't know if I'm gonna make that, but 246 miles, 4 hours worth of driving to get to Lisbon, Connecticut for the final charging stop of the day. So I'll catch back up with you as we get further along. So we've gone 110 miles, 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour, driven for about a little over 2 hours, about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And we still have 137 miles to go until our final charging stop of the day. It's been raining heavily, and like I said, we're averaging 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour, which I think is still pretty good. Ambient temperature is 47 degrees, and it has been rainy the whole time. Okay, everyone, the traffic's been pretty heavy. It's been raining the whole time, and I'm now over 204 miles since the last stop, and I've been driving, it says, for 4 hours and 3 minutes. And I'll tell you my secret. So I only take a sip, just enough to fill my mouth up of the water once in a while. That keeps me hydrated and keeps me from having to use the restroom. But it says I have about 43 miles to go until I get to my final charging stop. And my average efficiency is up to 2.1 miles per kilowatt. Okay, everyone, so it says I've been driving for 4 hours and 43 minutes.
Turn left.
On 248 miles.
Turn left. Then turn left.
And GPS is acting all flaky on me here.
Use the right lane to turn right on River Road. Use the left lane to stay to the left. Then turn left.
There's Tesla Superchargers here.
Then use either lane.
I'm not really sure what's going on with these people. Don't have a stop, or do they?
Use either lane to turn left. Then use the left 2 lanes to stay to the left. Turn right. Then turn right. Turn right. Then turn right.
Efficiency is 2 miles per kilowatt hour. So pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get charged up here and then we'll look at everything. Okay, everyone, so we're here at our last charging stop of the evening with the Silverado EV work truck. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm getting 176 kilowatt, and the charging information is not really all that great. Let's see what we got here. Now, it shows me the energy in kilowatt on the driver's display, but when I go over here, it shows me miles per hour. I hate miles per hour. That doesn't tell me too much. 369 miles per hour. But you can see I just bumped up to 177. And I don't really need to charge up a tremendous amount here, but I don't have charging at the hotel, so I want to charge up a little bit more. But anyway, this is where we're at. This is going to be the last charging stop of the evening, and then we're going to be reaching our destination. Okay, everyone, so this is going to be the last video for the night. We just arrived at our destination, and it looks like, well, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here's the final leg of our trip. We went 72 miles. We averaged 1.8 miles per kilowatt hours. Heavy, heavy rain. And then it says 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I found out that it's actually counting the amount of time we stopped to charge. So it was really probably more like an hour and a half. And it looks like we ended with, I don't know, I'll find out when we shut, well, let's shut it off. See if it tells me. 63%. I wish GM would show the state of charge down here in the screen, or at least allow you to select that versus the range prediction, or like Rivian does, show you both if that's what you want. That's it for tonight, the trip up, and we made it with 63%. Now, obviously we could have avoided one charging stop, but I had to stop anyway, so it worked out. All right, everyone, on the way back here, of course, the rain hasn't let up. So it looks like it's going to be another day of driving back in the pouring down rain. But we're heading back, leaving Needham, Massachusetts. Our first stop is going to be about a 110-mile drive. And we're going to stop at a Tesla Supercharger in Connecticut. And then we'll have a second stop. And I used ABRP to calculate the best route, and I know I only need to charge up at the first stop 40% to make it to the next one. So I'm going for the quickest arrival time back at home in Mount Airy, Maryland. Currently, I'm at about 58% state of charge, and it's predicting that I can go about 258 miles. So I should have well more than enough to get the 110 miles down into Connecticut to our first charging stop. So as I did on the way up, I'll keep checking in with you guys, but it's going to be interesting to see how the Silverado EV performs. One thing I will tell you is I could probably get faster charging speeds at the Electrify America stations that have 350 kilowatt fast chargers. However, I have the Tesla membership, and the 400 volt charging is more widely available. So I think it's important, at least right now, to show folks what it's like to charge on chargers that are not capable of 800 volt speed.
In 1 mile.
To try to give you an idea of how this truck will perform on a long road trip. In any event, I'll catch up with you guys again shortly when we get closer to our charging stop. All right, we're getting off here at the Hamden Tesla Supercharger. So it's going to be on the left side of the road.
Turn left on Dixwell Avenue.
So I've gone 125 miles, and it's been pouring down rain the entire time, and I was going really fast. Not going to disclose how fast I was going, but I'm trying to make good time, and I'm not necessarily worried about efficiency. So pedal to the metal, 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So not too bad. It says I've been driving for about 2 hours. I'll charge up to about 40% here, and then we'll get back on the road. We'll have one more charging stop, and I set my arrival range to 5%. So I'm going to run the battery all the way down and basically see how fast we can make it. There has been heavy traffic in some sections of Connecticut, and there probably will be going through New York and through New Jersey as well. So that's going to be the choke point. Not charging, it's going to be the traffic. And I see some Tesla Superchargers over there, so, and they look wide open. Well, there's one Tesla there charging. Let's see, he's on 1C. I'm gonna go for, we'll do 3D, why not? Yeah, pretty good here. Tell you one thing about the Silverado EV is it does have fairly good cameras. So I can back right up to the Supercharger without running into it, which is always a good thing. So let's go ahead and get charging and see what we're going to be able to do here. Okay, everyone. So it looks like I'm getting 178 kilowatt here. I did do the fast charging prep about 20 miles out, 20 miles or 20 minutes out. I manually started the fast charge prep. So it kind of makes sense that since we're only on 400 volt here at the Tesla Supercharger, that we're maxing out around 180, 185 kilowatt. That's what I saw on the way up. I found that at the 800 volt stations, when it's the opposite. So if you have a 400 volt EV and you're at an 800 volt capable station, you get about half of the maximum charging speed listed. And it looks like the opposite is also true here with the Silverado EV. So at the Tesla Superchargers, looks like max is going to be around 180, 185 kilowatt. But I only have to charge up to 40%. So I'm not going to be here too terribly long. And if we look at the display here, you can see I already have 29%. So I pulled up here with a little bit more range than I had anticipated. So I'm going to charge to 40%. Then I'm going to disconnect and get back on the road. Okay, everyone. So we're pulling off to our last supercharging stop. Looks like we've gone 116 miles, averaging 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. As you can see, the weather has cleared up nicely. It is very, very windy outside, but otherwise it's dry. So we're going to charge here. Let's see what ABRP says. So the only thing I don't care for with the Silverado is it does not have a really good navigation with charging stops built in. And of course, you can use ABRP, but you need to have the premium version of ABRP.
Stay to the right through County Road 527 South, Old Bridge Turn.
In order to use it with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay.
Use the left lane to turn left on North End Drive.
Is what it is. And I'm making do. I just put each leg of my stop into Waze. I like to have Waze running anyway because it tells me when there's speed traps and hazards on the road and things like that. So looks like it's probably going to be in this Wawa here. Pretty sure this is it.
Turn left on North End Drive. Then turn left.
Or maybe not. It's going to be around the back. Or maybe that's how I have to get to it. Looks like we're going to charge up to 60% here. And
turn left.
That'll give us enough to make it all the way back to our destination with at least 5% state of charge remaining.
You've arrived at your destination.
But I've been doing significantly better. It predicted I was going to arrive here with 11%. Oh, wow. We got a lot of stalls taken up here. So we got a fairly full charger here. See how this is going to work out. give this guy a little bit more room on the left side of me here. He is really close. This isn't the best spot, but it'll do. Okay, so it looks like we have about 21%. We're getting 156 kilowatt here. Let's see if I can show you this. 158 kilowatt. I did manually precondition, and I don't know, about 10 minutes before we got here. Here's what it looks like over here. So it says we need to charge up to 60% or 61% to make it home with 5% state of charge remaining. But I'm gonna check my calculations again to see if we can leave before we get to the 61% mark. But it is increasing somewhat. It's up to 161 kilowatt. But again, we're not gonna see any more. 185 is pretty much the max until Tesla converts over to 800 volt. Okay, everyone, so that was about a 34-minute charging stop. Maxed out somewhere around 170 kilowatt, but it hung mostly around 150 for most of the time. But if I was using an 800 volt charger, it would have been significantly faster than that. So we're going to keep going, keep trucking on. We've got about 195 miles until we reach our destination. So I'll probably check in with you guys when we get just under 100 miles remaining, and we'll see where our efficiency is and how much range we have left at that time. Okay, everyone. So we've got 96 miles left to go before we reach our destination. We've traveled 102 miles on this leg, and I've been absolutely romping on this truck. But despite being extremely hard on the accelerator, I'm still averaging 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour on this leg of the trip. So I guess the next stop will be our destination, and we'll check in with you there and see how we did. Okay, everyone, so we're back. So we finished up the trip. We went 198 miles and we averaged 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. And I was really, really on the pedal hard. So that was really a worst case. It was very windy. So I'm not surprised we only did 1.7 on that stretch, but I actually made it back. I have 34 miles of range. And let's see if I can go into my, it's telling me low battery. The weird thing is it still doesn't tell me what the state of charge is. It just tells me the next charge. So I guess, let me try this vehicle off. I have 9% state of charge left. So not too bad. And I had plenty of buffer. If something would have happened, you know, I had 9% buffer there. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, folks. Overall, a pretty successful road trip with the Silverado EV work truck. That's going to wrap this one up, but I'm going to go over my notes. And I have several notes here from this trip that weren't necessarily included in the video, reflections, if you will. So I'm just going to look at my device here and kind of go over these with you. So with regard to the trip meter, the current trip resets when I put the vehicle in park. And the current trip also, when it does that reset, the next leg, it includes the time I spent at the charger. So I'm not sure why it does that. I really don't like that it does that, but I figured that out. It was easy enough to figure that out. The next note I have is that I would prefer if the charging information displayed was both the predicted range and the state of charge, not just the predicted range. It's very difficult in the Silverado EV to get it to show the state of charge unless I hit the power off vehicle. Then it'll actually show me the state of charge. So the next item I have on my list has to do with the charging speed when you're DC fast charging and how that's displayed. Currently, it displays the power in kilowatts in the lower right-hand corner of the driver display. And when you look at the main display, it displays miles per hour. I personally don't like the miles per hour. It doesn't really help me. I know some folks do like it, but I think you should have the option to have the power being delivered in kilowatts shown on the main display. The next note I have is that you'll notice in my videos, the maximum charging speed we saw was about 180 or 185 kilowatt. And that's because the Tesla Superchargers are not set up currently to do 800 volt charging. And the Silverado EV is an 800 volt truck and can do up to 350 kilowatt. But when you get a charger that's not set up for 800 volt charging, you wind up with 400 volt charging, which is about half the speed, and it significantly increases the charge times. Now that's not a huge issue because the Silverado EV has a ton of range, but it's something you want to make note of. But it's important to note that the 800 volt charging infrastructure is going to improve with time. So the way it is right now is the worse it's going to be. The next note I have is the charge port location on the Silverado EV. Now it is on the driver's side rear, which is just like Tesla vehicles. So it's very easy to back it into a Tesla Supercharger and only take up one spot. The issue is if you're towing with the Silverado EV, and I suspect a lot of Silverado EV buyers will be towing with their electric Silverado trucks. And with that, you need a pull-through charger. If you don't have a pull-through charger, you're gonna have to unhook your trailer and back in. So that's just something to note. You can find pull-through chargers on PlugShare by going into the parking and filtering for pull-through spots. The last thing I want to note is the charging cost. So round trip, that's going up and back, my Tesla Supercharger bill was $122.22. Now that is member pricing. I do pay the $12.99 a month membership fee. If you don't pay that fee, the pricing will be slightly higher. So it's important to note that as well. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you like the Silverado EV? Let us know down in the comments section. As always, remember to like, hit subscribe, and then when you hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Remember to hug the people you love every chance you get, and thank you guys so much for watching.